Sports bettors, we're going through the best NFL player props. You're not going to want to miss them. So let's dive into it and let's start out by looking at the Jets Bengals game. I found an incredible bet. You're not going to want to miss it. So let's get into it. Now you can see the 0-2 Bengals. Can they actually make the playoffs? Probably not. Are -6 on the spread, right? Most books have typical -110, -110 juice, although you can grab -7 on PointsBet. So as a sports bettor, always shop around, get value. Really, what makes OddsJam different than the rest of the industry is we work for the sports bettor, right? We want you to get the best lines. We try to bring to you the quality of data, and it's completely free to browse odds on OddsJam. Any sport you want to look at, millions of odds updating in real time. Like the whole goal of OddsJam is to bring information, content, and also technology, tools, data, that was only available to people who did this full time, the pros, the sharps, to everybody, because it's not fair otherwise. So Bengals -6 on the spread. The total's at 45, 45.5, depending on the book. In the money line, you can see the Jets are best offered at +225 on the Betfair exchange. Bengals best offered also on the Betfair exchange, -238. So as a sharp bettor, you always need to look at the odds from the Betfair exchange before you ever place a bet, right? And the reason is this exchange is very different than a sports book. And the reason is it's peer-to-peer betting. You're not betting against the book, the house. You're betting against other people. So what you'll notice is there's often very low juice in these markets as you get closer to game time, because this is the most active sports betting exchange in the world. So it's a super good source of information for sports bettors, right? And even though I can't place bets on the Betfair exchange, it's not in my location, what this tells me is there are tens of thousands of dollars being bet offshore on the Jets at +225. So what this should tell you as a sports bettor, as a data-oriented sports bettor, is, well, if a bunch of people are letting you bet on the Jets +225, I definitely don't want to bet them +200, +205, or +210. Right? It's thinking about sports from the perspective of an investor. It's hard to make money sports betting, so you have to know how to look for value. And if you're placing bets at +200, +202, when there's other sports books, even if they're not in your location, offering +225, then you're getting a terrible price, right? You're getting a rip-off price, and you're never going to make money sports betting. Sports betting is all about looking for value, finding edges, and consistently beating the vig, beating the juice, so you can beat the book long term. So the play I have for this game is going to be in the player rushing attempts market. Okay? As a sharp bettor, we're always looking for value, wherever we find it, right? OddsJam is pretty simple. The software just constantly updates millions of odds in real time, and then it just shows you bets with value. So we can see the first play available is Michael Carter over 9.5 rushing attempts. So if we click into the odds, it's like, wow, we're getting a pretty good line on Caesars. We're getting -104 for Carter over 9.5 rushing attempts. In the first 2 games of the season, he's had 10 and 7. So one time this would have cashed in week 1 against the Ravens. It wouldn't have cashed in week 2 when they beat the Browns, right? So from a data perspective, it should be very clear, right? You treat each book as an independent data point of what the line should be, and all indications are that this bet on Caesars is incredible. First of all, you notice Underdog Fantasy, right? They have his rushing attempts market half a yard higher, right? So we're getting over 9.5. They have the line at over 10. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other sports books are all pricing this bet from -130 to -135. They have the over juiced, right? So they think Michael Carter should be a lot more likely to go over than under. That's why they're giving you -130 on the over and +100 on the under. So Caesars is a true pricing discrepancy in that it's the only book that has the under juiced. So either Caesars is smarter than the entire sports betting market, or they're asleep at the wheel and this is an advantageous bet. Right? We're using market information to find value, which is all that matters as a sports bettor. And of course, not all sportsbooks are the same. Bet Online is a very sharp sportsbook, for example. So we weight them slightly higher when we're considering what the fair or true price for this bet should be. So there are videos that will be in the end screen that kind of help you calculate how do you get this profit margin? Why is it 3.89%? Whatever. But anyways, this is one of the first plays I ended up locking in. So I have a massive tennis bet on Constant Lestine. We're going to hit another player prop here in a second, but we have Michael Carter, total rushing attempts, over 9.5 at minus 104. So we can go here, and again, just very clear value. This is just data-oriented sports betting. When every sportsbook is pricing something minus 130 to minus 135, and you can get that bet minus 104, pretty good indication that's a play you want to be looking at, you want to be on. And it's not like there are a ton of profitable bets, right? The OddsJam Positive EV tool is basically a tool that you can blindly bet. And not every bet's going to win. No one can win every bet. But you're guaranteed to win over the course of the long run, right? Because all of your bets have an edge. All of your bets are at odds that are better than the true price. So essentially, sportsbooks, they have the advantage that they charge the vig. They charge the juice, which is why it's hard to make money sports betting, right? Or at least, it's challenging for the average person. But what OddsJam does is it basically just scans the market for those few bets where you're getting a big enough pricing discrepancy that you're actually beating the vig and you're actually beating the juice. So Michael Carter, over 9.5 rushing attempts, minus 104, definitely a play you want to be on. You can see that Bet Online is pricing this at minus 130, a very sharp offshore sportsbook. They have the under at plus 100. So when you remove the vig, remove the juice, right, you remove the spread from the sportsbook's market, the true price is minus 113, right? So you'll see here, the true price for this bet is roughly minus 113. We're getting minus 104. So we're getting better odds than the fair odds or the true odds, which means you have an advantageous bet. And again, this is only possible because all sportsbooks have different odds. So you can ruthlessly compare lines between bookmakers and look for those rare opportunities. Like you can see right now, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 14 out of the millions of odds on sportsbooks. There's only 14 bets that are mathematically profitable, right? It's not like it's easy to make money sports betting. You just have to be able to find these bets where sportsbooks are slipping up and asleep at the wheel. So we hit it. As you can see, I've been tracking my profit and loss here for all of my plays. We're currently up $3,000. Not bad. $3,261. So not every day is going to be a winning day. Again, that's not the point of positive EV betting. Not every day is going to be a winning day, but you're guaranteed to win over the course of the long run. So what other bets do we have? We got some tennis bets. We got some MLB unders. We got a lot of good stuff out there. We have this guy plus 3.5 on the game spread. So we can take a look at this bet and see what we think about it. Not sure what's going on here. So let's go here. And we can take a look at this bet quickly, and then we'll get back to NFL player props. Anyways, I'm not sure what's going on here. So let's go back here and let's refresh, right? It's pretty simple. Then you just refresh and you look for new betting opportunities on OddsJam. And again, you're going to need multiple sportsbooks to be successful. You'll see we do a lot of videos on Underdog Fantasy. We do videos on Caesar Sportsbook. We'll do videos on Bet365, right? We'll have bets on all sorts of sports books. So you can see the positive EV bet is just, in bold with a circle around it, is you need more sports books to be successful, right? More sports books means more, outs and more opportunities to find bets that are mispriced, right? If you don't have FanDuel, you can't lock in this plus 108, which is clearly pretty good value considering they're the only bookmaker giving you odds above minus 105, right? So that's definitely a bet we want to be on. What else is out there? Jamar Chase, over 5.5 receptions. Any other NFL we want to lock in? Carson Wentz, he's gone over 300 passing yards both games. So maybe that's a play we want to lock in, is Wentz over 238.5 against the Eagles, who are coming off a short week. How do we feel about that? So we can go here, we can go to player props, and we can lock in Wentz as well. So let's go here, and then we'll lock in this play, which is slightly lower profit margin. But again, like my goal as a sharp positive EV bettor is really place as many, positive EV bets as I can on a daily basis. So we have Carson Wentz over 238.5 passing yards. So boom. And then what we can do is go here, and now we're adding Carson Wentz over 238.5 passing yards. We're keeping the stake the same, 125 locked and loaded. And what's the profit margin? 1.71%. So the profit margin is 1.71% as I form my own portfolio of sharp profitable bets. This first bet has a profit margin of 486 in dollars. You just take your profit margin, you multiply it by the percent, and that's it. $7 in total profit margin in these two plays. So let's make some money. Hopefully you found this helpful.